The Grand Egyptian Museum, arguably the world's most anticipated new museum opening of the 21st century. When it finally fully opens its doors to the global public, it will become the largest museum in the world. With more exhibition space than the National Museum of China in Beijing, the British Museum in London, the Hermitage in St. Petersburg, and the Louvre in Paris. But when will the gem finally open? Should the government of Egypt just go ahead and fully open the gem to the public without a grand opening ceremony? Is it even ready to open now? While we don't have all the answers to all these questions quite yet, we do have some new information that answers some of them. And we also have some guidance directly from the minister to share, along with a mysterious, unannounced closure of the gem that we'll tell you about as well. In all, I've got 6 specific new updates for you in this video. So let's dive right into update number 1. It appears that the King Tut immersive exhibition has officially ended, at least for now. This digital show that was projected on the walls and floor of a special exhibition hall on the upper floor of the gem's north wing was originally scheduled to run for only 3 months from December of 2023 through February of 2024. But then, before that 3 months was up, they announced an extension of the special digital exposition for another 3 months, running into late May. And now that late May has come and gone without another extension being announced, we can confirm that museum staff have told us that the exhibition is now officially over. However, given its popularity as kind of a novelty that both tourists and locals alike wanted to see at least once while they were there, maybe they'll bring it back at some point in the future. But that remains to be seen. For now, though, let's move on to update number 2. The gem obviously did not fully open to the public by the end of May, as the tourism minister previously said he expected it to do in his comments back in November of 2023 at the World Travel Market in London. Now, I do think this is another case of him specifically not being able to help the circumstances that are preventing the Egyptian government from putting on grand, glamorous ceremonies and parties and celebrations like they've envisioned and wanted to do for so long for the Grand Egyptian Museum's full public opening to the world. It just would not be in good taste right now, and the optics would not be good either. In a lot of ways, Egypt is stuck in a holding pattern because of circumstances beyond its control and beyond its borders. But that doesn't mean that they cannot open the museum. It just means that they can't hold big grand opening ceremonies with the accompanying parties and celebrations that they had hoped they would be able to do accompanying the official opening of the museum. But at this point, the longer they wait to fully open the gem, the more the world grows tired of waiting and the less exciting it is for everyone. And not only does the continued excessive delay hurt Egypt's image abroad, but it has caused the country to lose billions of dollars in tourism revenue last year and this year that's going to other countries instead, which could have been pouring into Egypt all this time. With that said, we are seeing signs that they are starting to move forward with opening preparations, which brings me to update number 3. The government has appointed a CEO for the gem, Dr. Jihan Saki. So who is Dr. Jihan Saki? Well, for starters, she's a very impressive and well-credentialed academic. She's a professor of Egyptology and ancient history and a former researcher at the prestigious Sorbonne University in Paris, the former head of the Egyptian Art Academy in Rome, a scientific advisor to UNESCO, and even a member of the Egyptian parliament. So suffice it to say that this esteemed lady has quite the impressive resume and will make an excellent first chief executive officer of the Grand Egyptian Museum. Now, as for update number 4, This is the perplexing new development. It's not only unprecedented in the history of museums in Egypt, at least that I know of, but it also could be significant as a signal of preparation for a possible upcoming opening of the gem, or not. Again, this is where I really need others to weigh in and help me figure out what this particular update could mean, especially when combined with the others here. So from the 1st of June through the 10th of June, the gem was completely shut down. It closed for 10 days, completely, or at least completely to the public. Now keep in mind, the gem has been virtually open every day since it began trial visits nearly a year and a half ago. That program allowed members of the public to buy tickets to access the gem and explore certain limited areas that opened early, such as the shops and restaurants and various atriums and courtyards, and as of late last year, even the grand staircase. So every day for over a year and a half, hundreds and sometimes thousands of people have been visiting the gem and walking around the common areas and dining and shopping there. Only in certain cases, when they had special events scheduled or high-profile dignitaries visiting, did they have to halt the public visits. But even in those circumstances, those who already had booked tickets to visit were still allowed to use those tickets on that day. They just didn't sell any more walk-up tickets while those events or official visits were going on. Even at the other museums in Cairo, I don't ever remember them closing, even for a day, much less 10 days. But for the first 10 days of June 2024, the gem completely shut down to the public. I'm told that not even any special private events were allowed to be booked at the gem during those 10 days. So something is definitely up, and it can't just be that they got a new CEO. When a new CEO takes over a large museum or hotel or resort property or a large institution of any kind, they don't shut it down for orientation and meeting the staff and reassessing policies and procedures. That would be counterproductive because they need to see things in full swing in order to properly be oriented with operations at scale. So I don't think it had anything to do with the new CEO being appointed around the same time and coming on board to take over running the gem. Now, the official reason that the gem gave is that it closed to the public and to all private events for those 10 days for operational and maintenance purposes. In fact, they didn't even announce that until May 29th, just 3 days before the closure. And it was only done by a very discreet small message on the ticket booking page that said that it would be closing from June 1st through 10th and apologizing for the inconvenience. Now, I got a heads up a few days before that, but that's only because I happened to be talking to gym staff about planning a private event there and specific dates that might work and might not. Luckily, we didn't have any clients scheduled to be in the country during the first half of June anyway, because it's the start of the slow summer season. But I'm sure there were many people that were both surprised and disappointed to find out at the very last minute that the gym was not open for even the limited trial visits or to see it all. It's possible that this unprecedented closure was just for maintenance, but it certainly wasn't any type of ordinary maintenance. So that could possibly mean that they're closing it to the public for those 10 days in order to make final preparations for opening. Maybe. Or maybe they were going to transfer some major artifacts from the old museum to the new one during that 10-day period. Or could it have been to train and orient a lot of newly hired staff in advance of an impending full public opening? Or could it be for all of those reasons, or something completely different that I'm not even thinking of? If you have ideas or thoughts, please leave them in the comments here. And as I always try to do, I'll be in there myself engaging also and having conversations with commenters and trying to see if we can collectively figure out what's going on together. It's definitely a strange development, but combined with the other developments very recently, it could be a sign that they're finally ready to give up on the idea of some big grand opening ceremony as a necessary condition for finally opening the gem to the public. And maybe they're just going to make it happen as they should and desperately need to in order to maintain the interest and respect and excitement of the world. All they would need to do is to transfer the final cache of major headline artifacts from the old museum to the new one, for which they might need to close the gem for a brief period in order to do safely anyway. Speaking of the transfer of artifacts from the old museum, update number 5 that I have relates to that. While artifact transfers have been going on slowly for over 2 years, we have definitely seen an increase in the emptying of the important areas of the old museum lately. Just the other day, one of my colleagues shot this video inside of the old Egyptian museum to show what some of the exhibition corridors there look like right now. A few months ago, these hallways still contain display cases and artifacts, but don't worry, there's still a lot left in there, including, I can confirm as of now, the best of King Tut's golden treasures, such as his burial mask and his inner golden coffins. There are also many other objects from his tomb still on display here too, just outside of the treasure room, including his golden throne, chariot, and more. While there's still a lot to see in the old museum that will be transferred at the last minute to the gem before it opens, it's clear that more progress has been made in cleaning out large areas of the old museum that used to be packed full of displays and artifacts. That's another positive sign for developments at the gem. The 6th and final update I have for you all is actually directly from the minister himself. To cut to the chase and get to the point for you quickly, the minister has just indicated that we should now not expect a June opening either. He just said this in an interview in Arabic on Egyptian television, so it won't get picked up much in the English language press or the foreign press around the world, or any other language for that matter. But we have it for you here, and the comments are both sincere and significant in my opinion. While I know this is frustrating for everyone, this does match pretty well with what I've been saying in this video, namely that they just cannot realistically have a big, happy, festive, grand opening ceremony until the war next door in Gaza concludes. So what did the minister actually just say that was so significant? He said that all work inside of the gem will be completed within the next 6 weeks. That very likely means that it will not open within the next 6 weeks, which takes us into at least mid-July for now, at the earliest. It's Egypt though, so anything is still possible, literally. They certainly can open it earlier than that if they want to, but again, consider all of the factors that they have to consider and decide for yourself if you think they will do that or not. I don't think so, but please feel welcome to let me know if you disagree and why in the comments here, and I'll try to weigh in and engage on the point as well. While I don't have all the answers when it comes to when the gem may open and what's going on, I at least do have some insider information, and that's what I endeavor to share with you all in these video updates. So stay tuned and subscribe to the Egypt Travel channel here on YouTube to always get the latest insider updates about the gem and everything related to history, culture, travel, and tourism in Egypt. Ma'as salama, everyone.